Hi guys, this is Lily with Smart Talk Radio. Today we will try something new in an attempt to bring two communities who need each other together, SmartCash and homesteading. As far as I'm concerned, the missing element in the crypto community in general is like more real-world people adopting crypto and talking about it. The fact is crypto is a vague thing for the general public. So today's guest is Kat Bonadine. I think I pronounced that right. Founder of the Homestead Guru, yes. Homesteading blog and collaboration project, basically. She is not new to crypto as she lives on the Bitcoin.com bus, but many of her readers are new to this. And she gets about 70,000 monthly page views and about 28 unique visitors each month. So for today's topics, we're going to be talking a little bit about ebooks and courses that you can buy at the Homestead Guru for SmartCash, the Bitcoin bus and the early crypto days, and why SmartCash is perfect for homesteaders, and a little more. So let's get into it with, hi, how are you?
Hey, Lily, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. I know it's a lot. We've got a lot of things going on. So we'll just start off by having you introduce yourself, and how did you first hear about cryptocurrency? What was your introduction to this whole world?
Well, my introduction to cryptocurrency was at the Porcupine Freedom Festival, 2013. Everybody was talking about it, but very few people were accepting it. I think I was given a very small paper wallet. And in 2014, I decided I wanted to do a project where we spent $0 at Porcupine Freedom Festival. So I knew that I needed to have a Bitcoin wallet set up. That was pretty much the only cryptocurrency at the time. And I had no idea where to start. So I downloaded an Electrum wallet to my computer, and I could not figure it out. I am not very tech-minded, as Lily knows. I try. God knows I try. But I do get overwhelmed. I get a little, just flustered, and I give up. And so I reached out online to my local community in Austin, and I said, hey, I'm trying to get involved in this new currency. Now, keep in mind, my ex and I at the time, we had this resource guide that we called the Black and Yellow Pages. And this was a listing of businesses that accepted silver, gold, barter. And at the time, we actually made the choice not to put crypto on it because, one, we didn't understand it very well. Two, it wasn't very popularized even in our own movement. And three, we had no idea it was going to blow up the way it did. But something told me I needed to make this happen for 2014 Porcupine Freedom Festival. And so I actually bartered a whole chicken, slaughtered and frozen, in exchange for help setting up my first Bitcoin wallet, which was an Electrum wallet, on my computer. So that was my very, very early introduction. I believe that year Bitcoin was worth $3, and we were receiving it in exchange for selling products. We used the vendor booth every year, and we did it. We had a successful experiment, spending no USD at the Porcupine Freedom Festival. And then the following year, I was writing for Bitcoin Magazine. I had just gone all in on crypto after the 2014 Porcupine Freedom Festival, which is in New Hampshire. The Free State Project puts it on. After that event and that experiment, I was all in, and we decided the following year to go on tour spending only Bitcoin. So we actually took a road trip from Texas all the way up to New Hampshire, and we only spent cryptocurrency. And this was not easy. We had some very difficult experiences. At this point in time, thankfully, Cheap Air, Expedia, they were taking Bitcoin. At the time, there was a wallet called Airbit that had this map built in where we could see who was accepting Bitcoin, which was the cryptocurrency really at the time. Ethereum was kind of cutting edge then. And we were testing the crypto infrastructure as it existed. So we would show up to a restaurant listed on coinmap.org or in the Airbits directory, And yes, the owner had signed up often to receive Bitcoin, but they didn't know how to receive it when it came to working with the waiter or waitress. So sometimes we had to wait 45 minutes to an hour to actually pay for our meal while the staff called the owner, or the owner couldn't figure out how to get into their Bitcoin wallet. So it was a very interesting road trip, which led us to receiving the Bitcoin bus in 2015. It used to be the Unschool bus. We renamed it the Bitcoin bus because we were so passionate about cryptocurrency, and we continued our Bitcoin activism and traveling across the country, the United States, and just really testing the infrastructure. I think we had a big part in setting up a lot of people with Bitcoin wallets, Dash wallets, Ethereum wallets, and we gave crypto away. My ex's name is John, and instead of Johnny Appleseed, he was Johnny Bitcoin. We were going to these meetups and just setting people up with wallets and giving them cryptocurrency.
We were doing the same thing at the same time, like in Ohio. It was just like, have you heard of Bitcoin? No? Here, you want some? Here, take it.
Yeah, it was a really neat time to be involved with cryptocurrency. And when you are driving a bus that says the Bitcoin bus on the front and has all these logos for all these cryptocurrencies down the side, I mean, every gas station becomes a point of advocacy. People come running up to you. I've heard of that. I saw it on the news, or my cousin taught me about it. I have a wallet. You know, like, people were just so excited to talk to us about it. And I feel blessed that I got to be part of the early days of growing the ecosystem. I, of course, knew that so-called alternative currencies were going to be the way of the future. And so we did have a tour called, in 2016, Dash Across America tour, where at that point in time, really the three big cryptos were Bitcoin, Dash, and Ethereum. And we were going across the country teaching people about these alternative cryptocurrencies. And we were actually banned from 2 Bitcoin meetups for promoting Dash. It was the Las Vegas Bitcoin meetup, and our hometown, Austin, Texas, banned us from the Bitcoin meetup because we were not dogmatic and we were not Bitcoin purists.
Yeah,
I
maximalists.
Exactly. To me, decentralization, you can't decentralize enough. So yes, cryptocurrency is a way to decentralize away from the fiat banking system. It's a way to decentralize from the Federal Reserve note, but there's more to it. If we are centralized within our cryptocurrency world, we create the same sorts of corruption opportunity that exists in a centralized banking system. So I'm a big fan of decentralization.
Everybody's going to be like, what's the final Bitcoin? And I kind of see it being like many coins with many different purposes and use cases that people, you know, like Monero has its privacy thing, and like all these different coins have these, like SmartCash, for example. Like SmartCash is SmartCash, but also the SmartCash team is building the community behind Bitcoin Confidential, which is essentially a more private version of Bitcoin. You know, even they're keeping it decentralized. There's no reason to just be like, Bitcoin, there can only be one.
It's dangerous when we get into that sort of thinking. There can always be more. There are infinite possibilities. And if we are stifling the growth of the cryptocurrency movement through dogma, then we are actually preventing human progress and preventing human growth, because there are all sorts of problems with cryptocurrency, with Bitcoin, and that's why things like SmartCash are so important. We need to continue to innovate. We need to continue to try new things. And, you know, there is, for example, I was reading an article yesterday, you know, at some point, Bitcoin will stop creating new coins. There will be a set amount of Bitcoin in the ecosystem. But they were saying that, like, 1,500 Bitcoins get lost every single day.
I read that yesterday.
I read it yesterday, too. And so at what point does the the pool of available Bitcoin becomes so narrow that it's no longer really a circulating currency, and it's just stagnated.
There's a lot of these coins, like these altcoins, that come up with like these huge, I guess, market caps, like number of coins, like way more than Bitcoin. But the idea is so that way, like, even if like everybody loses 10 of the coin, then there's still going to be enough left. It's interesting. That's one of the criticisms of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and really, this is personal responsibility, right? When you become your own banker, and Bitcoin paved the way for that. And we're learning these lessons as a community, but there are some things about cryptocurrency that push up against my homesteading and environmentalism side. And just this sheer amount of energy consumption required. If we do not continue to innovate and continue to find new ways of decentralizing our economy and creating our own monetary systems and banking systems, then we are going to be stuck with this giant power suck, this power drain, which in the end isn't benefiting anyone except the people who make money from power being consumed.
That's why why there's a decent number of coins now that they have like this policy that's basically like that can't happen. It's I just train wrecked on where my thought was going with that, but I had a good point to prove. It's Monday.
Well, I mean, I assume where you're going with this is just that we have to continue to innovate and try new things and decentralize and bring people together to discuss these things so that we can create better and better and better forms of exchanging value, because ultimately that is all money is. That is all cryptocurrency is. It is a placeholder for an exchange of value. And there's no set wrong or right way to do it. And there's so much opportunity for us to innovate and create. And I believe in altcoins. I believe in cryptocurrency. And I believe in agorism. I believe in autonomy, self-sufficiency, and working together as community, voluntary interactions, people coming together to care for each other, to create ecosystems with one another. And this is where I believe SmartCash and other cryptocurrencies are coming in and just playing this very important role. I mean, another way to look at it is like, okay, the final Bitcoin, that's the one, right? The one coin. You can't have really a solid community with every single person on the planet. Decentralization is important because we can only, our mutual friend Michael Nimitz and I had this really great conversation about how the human mind can really only retain 150 names. Okay? Once you start reaching 156, 175, 180, 200 acquaintances, you start grasping for their name, right? Like, oh, I can see their face, their name's on the tip of my tongue, and you're trying to find it. We can only maintain so many relationships in our lives. And that's ultimately our community, is that 150 name database that we have in our mind. Once you start extending out beyond that, you no longer have that personal relationship. And for us to really maintain freedom, we need to be maintaining strong communities. And in order to maintain strong communities, we have to know one another. We have to talk to one another. We have to interact with one another. And in order to do that, we have to be decentralized. So there can't be one final destination for Bitcoin, because it's going to be too many people and it's going to naturally segregate into smaller groups anyway. That is the way human beings function. We find our tribe, we find our group, and we do life together.
So since we're on the topic of essentially decentralization and collaboration, you started the Homestead Guru, which is a blog I've been writing at for about 3 years now, off and on. And this past year, you essentially
I think it's 4 years now, Lily. Just saying.
It might be.
It's 4 years now.
You might be right on that. But you've decentralized it now, and you've brought in, like, essentially a team and decentralized all of the tasks and removed yourself as the bottleneck, as you've used. I love that, like, way of putting it, because it's accurate. So let's talk a little bit about the Guru. How did the vision of the Homestead Guru start off?
Well, it actually started as a blog called sovereignliving.com, and this was me just simply documenting my life as a new mom living on a farm. It was chickens, recipes, and children, and I was receiving over 3 million hits a month very early on. And we decided, my ex and I, to start a nonprofit, and we started this docu-reality show called The Sovereign Living Show, which you can find episode 1 on YouTube. And that resulted in our nonprofit attorney telling us that basically the names were so similar that we should not put Google ads on the blog sovereignliving.com. And so we decided, okay, in order to have a blog that is completely freestanding from this 501c3 kind of governing regulations, we needed to start something completely different. So we started the TheHomeStead.guru, and this really was to be a continuation of my personal blogging, but we had also partnered with my friend Justin, who owns a lot of very large Facebook pages. And at the time, the way the algorithms were going, you could embed a YouTube video in a blog post, write a 5-sentence summary of the YouTube video, have it shared all over Facebook, and make $300 off of that post. And so I've never been good at writing viral stories. I'm great at sharing my own story. But when I start writing for the purpose of getting clicks or shares or whatever, I kind of shut down and I don't do a very good job. But to be honest, there was this time period up until, I would say, mid-2018 where blogging was a gravy train. I mean, money just came in. And since I wasn't good at this type of writing, I started bringing in other writers like yourself and paying a percentage. You had some stories go so viral, Lily. I mean, like that one about the eggs in Mexico versus the eggs in the United States, and how they don't put them in the refrigerator in Mexico. Like, that went off the chart. And so some of these articles, they could make so much money. And it was fun for me because I could hire my friends and I could still kind of do my own little personal blogging. But the reality is I'm not good at the business side of things. And when the algorithms changed a couple times, I was able to shift things and overcome the changes. But in 2018, the algorithms changed on Facebook, and a lot of our partners actually lost their Facebook pages. So our website, TheHomeStead.guru, was being shared on these big, giant Facebook pages with millions of likes, and Facebook took down those pages. So one, we lost our mouthpiece. We lost our soapbox. But two, I believe that our URL was, as they call, shadow banned, where we didn't have our page taken down, but all of a sudden it went from easily making, a couple $100 on an article to 35 cents. I mean, just this sudden drop. And at the time, we had got involved in the Steemit blockchain. And that, because there was a big donor who was involved with this Tribe Steam Up project that Kenny Palorentino, if I'm saying his name correctly, I'm so bad at pronouncing his name, Kenny had started. And it was okay. We survived for a while. We were making a comparable amount of money from the Steemit blockchain. And I thought, this is great. This actually is a blessing in disguise. We could move away from Google and Amazon ads. Well, the person financing that pulled out at the end of the summer in 2018. And I basically had to let everybody go from the Homestead Guru. I couldn't pay anybody to do anything. The website almost failed. I almost had to shut it down. I got myself into debt. There's pretty big expenses that come with an email list as big as ours. And I realized at the end of 2018, okay, this model isn't working anymore. The algorithms have changed. Affiliate marketing is not the way, the way of the future. I don't know what is yet, but this isn't it. And 2019 came around. I started really putting energy back into the blog. We got some more momentum, started making resources again. And anyway, long story short, it's like it was up and down and up and down. There was no consistency. And I just realized, you know what, like this project is bigger than me. There's over 600 articles. We're about to hit 700 articles. This is an educational resource, and I am failing it. I am not able to keep up with the changing business dynamics. I am a content creator. I don't run businesses very well. I try. I put out the energy. I try to learn this. I try to learn that. But the Homestead Guru does best when I'm creating content from a place of love and excitement, not when I'm trying to understand how to overcome algorithms, not when I'm trying to figure out how to pay the bills. And so I called upon some of the greatest hustling women that I know of, and I said, hey, I don't want this to die, and I'm failing it. I don't want to be, the person responsible for all of this, and I believe that there is something really special here. So Lily, myself, our friend Angel, and Elizabeth, we came together, and I just completely decentralized the model. So I've moved to a profit share model. I make the same percentage that Lily makes, that Angel makes, that Elizabeth makes. And if we're going to bring on another person, the four of us, we're going to agree to it together. And we are creatively trying to find new ways to get this educational media out to the public. So right now we are working on creating programs, things that we can actually sell as opposed to sending everybody who comes to our website to Google or Amazon ads. Those ads are still up. I do want to get to the point where we take them down, but Lily has helped so much. You, Lily, have helped so much with just getting the online store set up and allowing us to find other ways to stay afloat. And right now we have, I think, 6 ebooks that are available for purchase on our site. I have this whole life detox course that I was putting on at conferences nationwide, at PorkFest, at Libertopia, at Anarchapulco, for example. And I moved it online. Lily helped me get that set up. And it has just been this major process of overhauling things and decentralizing things. And what I love about running the business in this way is that everybody is able to do things that they're really good at. Now, of course, Lily's like this Renaissance woman. You can just do anything. You blow me away sometimes how you're capable of accomplishing so much. But, I'm dyslexic, and I will publish articles with typos in the headline if I don't have an editor. And Angel's there, and she has this eye for excellence, and she makes sure that we are putting things out that are of a high caliber, a high quality. Elizabeth has this amazing artistic ability, and she's helping with graphics and, creating Pinterest images. And she's running the Instagram, which is something we didn't have going at all before. And I'm still doing a lot of administrative things, but I can say that the project isn't failing anymore. We're at least breaking even. And I don't want to speak for you, Lily, but I can see that we're on the cusp of something big, and I think the team can see it and feel it as well as we transition away from this, corporate Facebook, corporate Amazon, corporate Google way of functioning as an educational website. I think we're getting more into alignment with our values, and we are decentralizing the functionality of it, and we are decentralizing our income. So we're doing the Hive peaked blockchain. We've got the products for sale. We're doing guest posts that people pay us for and link insertions that people pay us for. So this idea of decentralization, we're starting to apply to this business model. And I think it's going to be a big success. I mean, I don't know. It's, again, another big experiment. Here we are.
I think you're right. We've spent months putting in, like, the work to build this store. But, like, this store has a lot of content that I think people in the SmartCash community would find interesting. Because, like, every time I really get to talking to somebody new from the community, they're always kind of into the same things, They don't really trust the government. So, like, the book about unschooling is perfect for them, raising backyard chickens, like... We have all these different books that on all these topics that, people are going to find interesting. Also, it's worth mentioning they're only $5.55 right now. So that's pretty cheap for a whole book of practical information that's written by us and edited by us and all of that stuff.
Yes, and I think, SmartCash being a decentralized cryptocurrency as well, people who are into decentralizing economics naturally either already are or eventually become, in my experience, interested in decentralized lifestyles as a whole. So decentralizing your food supply, learning how to grow your own food, decentralizing the medical industrial complex by learning how to take care of yourself and your family, whether it's through natural and home remedies or just different types of alternative medicines, decentralizing the academic experience that we have, with this mass indoctrination that's taking place through the public school system, whether it's unschooling or homeschooling or even going to an alternative private school. These are things that the SmartCash community naturally overlap with, even though at first you might think, well, what does gardening have to do with cryptocurrency? One is so science and math, and the other is, oh, wait, it's also science and math. And it's part of the greater economic system of the human experience. And so I think there's a ton of overlap here between the SmartCash community and the homesteading community that could be explored more deeply.
I agree completely. One question I do want to ask before I move on to like a little bit of information about SmartCash is what do you think the future is going to be for the Guru and for the detox store? Like, what do you see us offering in the future? What's the limits? What's going to happen?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and what I would like to see happen is more openness to content contributors. Right now, there are all of these platforms that centralize information and social online experiences that are managed by the corporate elite, essentially, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. And we are in a really interesting position because our server is maintained by Agrist Hosting. So we don't have corporate web hosts. No one's going to kick us down because of the type of content we share. We have a nice, solid, permanent, well, nothing's permanent, but we have a nice, solid, secure place on the internet where I believe we can become a place where people can express themselves. So documenting their homesteading experience. For some people, the decentralized and homestead experience involves moving into an RV or a converted school bus, like what I'm in. Other people, it's getting a big ranch house and, getting livestock. For other people, it's having an urban garden or community garden while they live in the city. There's so many different manifestations of this. And what happens is a lot of people go to Facebook, they go to Instagram, they're sharing this story in this beautiful way, and then it just gets lost. You can't type into a search engine information about raising ducks and find someone's Instagram post about it. But you can type into a search engine about raising ducks and find a Homestead Guru post about it. So I'd like to explore the ability to bring in more independent content creators, and I would like to expand our offerings so that, now that we're learning the technical infrastructure of offering an online course, which oh my gosh, for you people listening, you have no idea how complicated this has been. And Lily has just saved my tushy on this one. It is excruciating to go from, I can teach a class in person all day, every day. I can do that with my eyes closed. I don't need notes. You just name a topic and I can go. You tell me my time frame. Do I have 15 minutes? Do I have 2 hours? And I'll stop on the dot. I've got that down. But translating that to online, which right now is unfortunately, fortunately, whatever, no value judgment, but that's the way our economy and our society is moving with COVID. And so now that we have figured out the technical aspects of offering these courses online, I would love to see something put together by you, Lily, something by Elizabeth, something by Angel, but not just by our team, by other content creators who have something to offer and don't know what to do with it, don't know where to bring it. We have a huge email database. We have an awesome presence online. I mean, Lily has seen our inbox. People are messaging us literally all week, every week, asking to pay us to put blogs on our website. So I know we have something of value, and I would like to expand our offerings to the world. I would like to give a platform to more people, voices to more people, and opportunities to become an entrepreneur and to create courses, to create content, to create ebooks, and offer them for sale through our awesome community that we have started to build here. So that's what I'm envisioning.
I want to mention, the consulting. We're getting into that very soon, and that's something else that'll be, that people can get for SmartCash. As far as I know, there's no homesteading ebooks, courses, or consulting type things that you can get for SmartCash right now. I think we might be the first.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that we are cutting edge in that, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Lily, because here's the thing. Our team is made up of people who are walking the walk. Our team, we are agorists in action. We live this lifestyle, and we each live it in a unique and beautiful way. Every single member of the team is involved in cryptocurrency. Every single member of the team is educating themselves or their children in a decentralized way. Every single member of the team is focused on a decentralized lifestyle and not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. And that is something that it's hard to get from thinking about a decentralized lifestyle to living a decentralized lifestyle. And so now that we're launching these online courses, which you can find the detox course on our store online, this is what I had, talked to Lily and the team about. It's like, okay, I've already found the software. I've already got the coaching software put up. We wanted to make sure we had the technical aspects of the courses set up. But people want to ask questions. Lily, how do you survive in a foreign country, quote unquote, on the run? How do you get out of the banking system and live a life that is abundant and beautiful and
exciting,
fulfilling,
very exciting.
Yeah, exciting and fun, and that of course is going to manifest differently for all of us. Where we want to live, how we want to live, it's going to be unique, but learning from people who've already done it, having someone there to walk that walk with you is so important. So in the coming weeks, as you follow our website, you can go to TheHomeStead.guru. You'll get a little pop-up that asks you to join our email list. I try to send an email every week. I'm not great at that. Really, it's 3 a month. I'm working on that. But if you join our email list, follow us online, you're going to see that we expand into these new places. So if you are a person who's looking to actually spend your SmartCash, and I think this is so important in the crypto community, that we actually are utilizing the currency as a currency. And what is a current? Whether you're talking about electricity or water, a current is movement. And SmartCash is a currency. And we need to be moving it amongst each other, because that movement is what creates the value in the economy and in the ecosystem. So if you want to bring strength to the SmartCash network, participate in it, be involved in it, and support the businesses who are supporting the cryptocurrency. And here we are, Homestead Guru. We are accepting SmartCash in exchange for the products that we are currently selling. We will accept SmartCash in exchange for our consulting services. And, you know, even though we don't have that fully launched, if you have a question for one of us and you're willing to pay SmartCash, send an email to editor@TheHomeStead.guru, and I will set you up with one of our people. And we can go ahead and get that started in a grassroots way. I mean, this is the innovation. This is how things change. This is how things grow. And I'm really glad you brought that up, Lily, because that's coming. And
yeah,
I think
that's
that
exciting.
there's so many questions, you know, about how to get from here to there. And I think utilizing these alternative currencies in a real way to benefit our lives and not just holding them. And I know that a lot of people, they just want to buy and hold. But if you're going to be spending USD anyway, why not buy SmartCash to spend so that you can support the ecosystem and grow the economy?
Well, I think that's a good place for me to, because I'm essentially going to explain, because a lot of the listeners for this will be the SmartCash listeners. They know what the deal is. But we're going to send this out to your email list and out to our pages, which have thousands and thousands of people that have no idea what even cryptocurrency is. So I'm going to explain a little bit from my point of view, after having worked with SmartCash for several years, what it is to me. And also, like, kind of some of the features that might make somebody choose this over, say, getting into Bitcoin. In short, SmartCash is a cryptocurrency very similar to Bitcoin, but it's optimized for speed and ease of use. And there are some, like, altcoins that are just, like, tokens or whatever, and then there are, you know, this is its own blockchain, its own community. There is no ICO. The whole thing is decentralized. There's no creator, there's no boss, there's none of that. Like, all of the outreach is done by decentralized groups and from all walks of life all over the world. It's actually pretty cool. The project itself is about 3 years old, and in that time it's actually accomplished a lot. Last I had heard, like, most retailers in Brazil accept it. Like, it's easy to live on SmartCash directly in Brazil, and that's pretty exciting. Like, that's what we need to start seeing, is people actually living on these things. But the other thing is, like, how it works, because I mentioned speed and ease of use. Well, like, it's easy to send a SmartCash transaction, it's super cheap, and it's super fast. It's nearly instant, which is pretty much the big way in which they kind of deviated from Bitcoin in the beginning. So and not only that, but it's in its early stages. It's still cheap. And then there's the strong community behind it that makes it easy to contribute to. So you can start, like, a lot of people that get paid for SmartCash now just started on a volunteer basis, myself included. I was just like, oh, this is interesting, posting about it on Steemit, and now I've kind of worked for them on and off for the last couple of years. They sponsored our event. They have that cool governance model, so if people are interested in, like, the idea of voting on what happens with the project, SmartCash is a great project for that. And then, finally, I know you mentioned currency needs to be used as currency, but there are a lot of people that are also looking for a way to save. And one thing that Bitcoin doesn't actually offer is passive income, other than, like, what you would get if the price were to, say, go up. That's the passive income you get for it. But SmartCash has smart rewards built in, so anybody who wants to get involved just has to put, like, less than $5 of SmartCash in an eligible wallet for more than a week, and you start reaping rewards like a savings account. And, like, currently it's a lot of money, so you can actually make a decent money at it, getting paid weekly for smart rewards.
Okay, Lily, tell me more about this, because I have some SmartCash and it is in an Edge wallet. Is that an eligible wallet, or do I need to move it?
I'm pretty sure it's an eligible wallet, but I'm going to double check with the team and make sure on that. I do know that it's supported by Koinami. Yeah, it is supported by Edge. So I'm pretty sure if that, I'm going to double check and make sure you don't have to do anything special. But the way Smart Rewards is working now is every week it, like, takes a tally of who has more than 1,000 SmartCash, which is, like, less than $5. It's like $3.80 when I checked, like, the other day. So it's less than $5 in SmartCash that you have to have at a minimum. And then you have to hold it for a week. And then after 1 week, it'll naturally start to just multiply each week. And then after 4 weeks, the rate of like the block rewards, because this is all paid out from block rewards to the people, but after about 4 weeks, that rate of block rewards is like increased by a lot, so incentivizes you to hold for a month or more. And there's also something called super rewards that rewards people that have a lot of SmartCash and stuff. But yeah, it just takes holding it and sitting on it, and you can.
Oh, so I'm looking at my wallet, you guys, and I have little deposits from SmartCash every single month in here. I never knew.
Yeah, they before, I'm pretty sure it was like a cycle of 90 days, and it was a cycle of a month maybe, and I think it was like people are real instant gratification, so like convincing people to hold their money for like 3 months to see what happens with it is not an easy sell. But convincing people to do it for a week is, and that's something that they just changed like a month ago, is that it went from like every month being paid to every week being paid, and it's only, you have to like, it's like 2 weeks after you start before you get paid, because it like registers how much you have for the first week, and then the second week you get paid, and then you get paid every week after that, as long as you don't spend from the address. So you can't spend from it, but you can add to it. It's just that new amount won't get calculated till the next round. That's the only thing. But like right now, it's a brand new change to the thing, and the percentages, I forget what they were, but they were really high of what you make of the block rewards paid directly in SmartCash. So it's one of those things.
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty impressed. They've given me anywhere from 11 cents to $1 every single month since May of 2019. Yep. And I had no idea. So that's pretty exciting. I'm glad to learn that. Thank you, Lily.
All right. Well, I'm glad to have shared. That was the point of all of this, though, because like, if I had $1 for every time somebody, like, I talk to just a normal person about crypto and they say something like, I heard about it, but I don't know anybody that uses it. But, like, or they don't know how to use it, you know? It's like, it seems real vague to have, like, to buy this magic internet money and just wait for it to go up in value. But, like, this is a little bit more like what people are used to with savings accounts, and I think it's something that people should get excited about. But
yeah, I think it's great. And, you know, I want to be clear that I do think crypto can be a place where you can store your assets as well. But, and when I say use it as a currency, I mean, if you're going to be spending USD, if you know you're going to be going to go buy this product and there is an opportunity to spend it with a cryptocurrency, why not buy that cryptocurrency and participate in the economy? Now, if you're going to be saving money anyway and you want to invest in a cryptocurrency in order to save, do your research, make wise choices, you know, as in any investment, I'll only invest what you can afford to lose. But yeah, if you're going to be buying a detox course from the Homestead Guru, why not do it with SmartCash? We would love to have that as a way to participate in the SmartCash community, and you can help our project continue to grow. The thing about the Homestead Guru is that, yes, there are people who are involved that are feeding their families with some of the resources that come in from the Homestead Guru, but ultimately what it comes down to is we are looking to empower people to take ownership of their own lives and to decentralize their lifestyle, whether that's education, healthcare, food, their income, getting involved with agorism. So anytime you support us, you are supporting this movement toward a decentralized economy. And I'm very grateful, Lily, that you are participating in all of the things that I am excited about, because it makes you such an interesting ally to have on this decentralized journey, because I know you understand my path because you're walking it with me. So thank you for being an example and a shining light, because they're few and far between and they're so precious and so valuable.
Well, thank you for coming on and sharing your story, because like I mentioned earlier, it's like these personal stories. A lot of people get bogged down in their tech. They're like, oh, proof of work versus proof of stake and this coin versus that coin. But like in reality, it comes down to the people that are using it. And down to the people that have been like promoting it for a long time like we have, because a lot of people only came into crypto recently when it got big just for speculative sake, yet there's still plenty of people that were there before all of that understand the reason why we bother when we use this stuff, even though, like you mentioned with your trip, like I've traveled across the United States with Bitcoin. It's not easy, but it's fun. So it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. And you know what? For all the people who've gotten involved for speculative sake, welcome to the movement. They are going to find so many opportunities to decentralize their lives in other ways. And I hope that everybody begins to see that life is not all about monetary value. It, like you said, it's about the people who are involved. And that's the beautiful part about SmartCash. That's the beautiful part about the Homestead Guru, is that we are made up of really beautiful people.
That's exciting. Okay, so anything else that you want to share with the readers? Any, social media stuff, links, etc.?
Well, we are on all of the corporate social medias. You can find us on Facebook, The Homestead Guru. You can find us on Instagram at The Homestead Guru. You can find us on Pinterest with Life Untamed. I do have a podcast. I haven't made an update in a while, but it's myuntamed.life is the URL. Hopefully I'll get a new episode out this week. That's my intention, because my kids are with their dad. Let's see. We're on Peaked. We're on Steemit, although we're not actively updating there anymore because we've moved over to Hive. We are... Yeah, we're looking for people to contribute. So if you have a story that you want to share, even if you just want to send us an email and ask questions or tell us what you have going on, you can email editor@TheHomeStead.guru. We would love to hear from you. If you have a story you'd like to share, if you'd like to write an article, we have all sorts of ways for you to get involved, and we would love your participation. So reach out, get involved. I am on Instagram at rewild.child, and that's kind of my non-blockchain place. Oh, and of course we have to mention Float.
Yep,
Angel
Float
is part of the Float team, and she got us involved in Float. Lily is managing our Float account, and that's a great place to reach out to us as well.
Yep. Okay, well, thank you, Kat, so much for coming on, and thank you to the listeners. I hope you guys all have a great week. Okay, bye.